Hey, thanks for buying the OverEasy, the greatest improvement to the wheelbarrow since the wheel. We're going to put this together. We'll show you how. It's very simple, just with a few tools, maybe about 10 minutes of your time. We're going to teach you how to get over it with the OverEasy. So now you've got your OverEasy, you've got it unboxed, you've got all these components. Lay them out in front of you in an orderly fashion, and it'll look something like this. Now what you've got is two of pretty much everything. Two wheels, two boomerangs or side rails, two axles, two locking shaft collars, two spacers for the axle, two washers, two shoulder bolts and nuts that go on those. Now we do have 4 button head screws with lock washers that go on there. We have 2 connecting struts. Now these are the only 2 components that it matters if you have right or left. The other ones, it doesn't matter. It can go right or left. These do have to go on with the long side facing forward, and we'll show you that in just a moment. But as far as the connecting struts go, if you took it and put it so it points towards you, this piece of steel right here will point towards your right shoulder. That goes on the right handrail. This one, as you hang onto it, it points towards your left shoulder. This goes on the left rail. I'll show you how to put it together. So now we're going to assemble one of the sides. Grab the left connecting strut. You take one shoulder bolt, the side where the sticker is on. Take the shoulder bolt, push it through. Okay. Now you're going to take one of the spacers, the washers, place that on top of the shoulder bolt. Now the boomerang, when you grab this, you're going to see that it's got a short side here and a longer side here. The short side is going to be pointing towards you. That's toward the back. You're going to take that, you're going to lay it right on top, and that will press right into there. Now sometimes the powder coating will make this hole a little tight, so you may have to work it on there, but it's okay. Then take the nut, get it finger tightened, get it started on there. As soon as it hits the nylock, it'll start to get tight. Now that we've got this together, we need to tighten it down. Grab your Allen wrench, insert it there. 1/2 inch is on the nut. I'm using a ratchet wrench here. Works pretty well. You can use a standard wrench or you can use a socket as well. You'll feel that start to tighten down. I want you to take that right down until it just starts to get snug. Now, at this point, that should be movable, but not be sloppy on there. There should be no play this way. Once you get that to that tension, that's perfect. Do the same thing with the right side. Now that you have both sides assembled, the boomerang onto the connecting strut, they should look something like this. The long side here should be on the same side as the bend in the connecting strut. These are ready to go. Now let's connect the axles. So now you've got this, in this case here, we've got the left side of the boomerang. We're going to take one of our axles. We're going to take the internal lock washer and put that through the button head screw. This is going to go through, in this case we'll put it through the front side. So it's on the front. We're going to take and just finger tighten this down. Now what I like to do is put a little bit of the blue, which is the medium Loctite, put it on the threads, and that just helps keep things in there nice and snug. Just take and finger tighten this down onto there. Okay. Now we're going to take our shaft collar, the locking shaft collar, and put it on and just slide it over. Now we'll take one of our wheels, insert the axle into the hub, and we're going to take one of the black spacers and slide that over onto that side. Now it kind of helps to have an extra set of hands, or we can just place this down like that. We're going to take our right side and we're going to put the lock washer on there, push that through. Again, the powder coating sometimes makes that a little tight. And we'll just get this started. Okay, now for attaching the rear axle. We're going to take the axle itself, put it through the hub, and what we need to remember is with this, the black spacer goes on there. We bring this up. The wheels again are linear offset. Get that started in there. Get that turned in. Once that gets snugged up, take your shaft collar, slide that on. Now we can bring the other side over. Place the button head screw and tighten by hand. So now we've got the 4 button head screws securely tightened down into the axles. They're snug down in there. What we're going to do now is go ahead and tighten up the wheels, the shaft collars. So you can either do this lying on the side like this, or you can put it up and take your thumb and just put a little bit of pressure against that shaft collar, pushing the wheel over into the black spacer on the right. So you'll take the Allen screw and you're going to tighten that down. Now what you may want to do too is take this screw and have it so it's at least on the side or underneath, just so rain and other things don't get in there and rust it. Okay. Once you've got the first wheel set, repeat the step for the opposite wheel. Now that you've got all of the pieces tightened down, you've got the shaft collars in place, button head screws into the axles are tight, and these are able to move freely but not too loose. Go ahead and take your wheels, bring it up, give it a spin. You should have clearance here and just a little bit of clearance in between the 2 wheels. Switch it up, give it a spin. If it runs free and clear without any interference, then your OverEasy is ready for the next step, which is attaching to your wheelbarrow. If you've purchased the Easy Fit handles, it's all set and ready to go to attach to the OverEasy. Bring in, the holes are matched, they're guaranteed to fit. As these handles go back, what you're going to do is take your existing tray and you'll move it back and forth according to the handles. Find the center on the handles and match up your holes on your tray, and that is where you are going to drill to attach your tray to our handles. Now if you ordered the OverEasy without the Easy Fit handles, you're going to have to modify your handles on your wheelbarrow. That involves cutting off the front of the handles back to the point where as the handles diverge or spread apart, you're going to get this distance in between here. Once you've established that and you've cut, you now need to drill either 2 holes, or sometimes you can use the rear hole on the existing. They're 3 inches apart, or just use this as a template to do your drilling. Make sure also that the back of the wheel is able to clear the bottom of the tray. If you need, you may have to shim up the tray to give that clearance. Those are your 2 clearance items that you have to have. Again, the rear wheel on the bottom of the tray, and also the distance in between the handles. Now that the OverEasy is completely assembled and it is attached to the wheelbarrow, you can see how it works. This wheelbarrow is ready to go. It's ready to give you years of enjoyment, years of use. This thing is sturdy. This is the greatest improvement to the wheelbarrow since the wheel. We hope you agree, and we hope you get over it with the OverEasy.